everyone, welcome to the third episode of Supernatural Eats. Today we're going to go over the final food and drink of season 1, and pretty much it's party foods, and it's the perfect time of year to be doing these appetizer party foods. So both of the recipes I'm going to use, I did find recipes online, but I'm going to kind of play with it and make them my own today. So let's get started. The first one we're going to do is from the episode Nightmare, and it's the infamous cocktail weenie. The reason I say infamous is because the writers had originally told Jensen to just do something funny with food, and his reaction to the cocktail weenies basically gave birth to Dean's love of all foods and not just pie. Now, I think in this episode he just ate normal cocktail weenies. Now, I found a recipe for bacon wrapped cocktail weenies, so that's what I'm going to do because I also need bacon for the other recipe we're going to do. So I figure it'll just go a lot better. Besides, most of the cocktail weenie recipes I found were a mixture of barbecue sauce and grape jelly, and I understand the concept of sweet and savory, but just the thought barbecue sauce and jelly just really kind of made me go ugh. So I figure this recipe, it's 3 ingredients. It's the cocktail weenies, the bacon, and brown sugar, and cook them in the crock pot. So let's get started cutting our bacon and wrapping our little cocktail sausages. Okay, first thing we're going to do, we're going to open our cocktail weenies, and I'm just going to put some in a bowl so that they're handy and I don't have the juice draining everywhere. Now, this will be fun. My family and I, for Christmas Eve, we usually do like chips and dips and basically hors d'oeuvre food. We always have our little smokies, but we usually just heat them up in the microwave. Also, for added fun, with this particular dish I'm making today, I got the little smokies with the cheddar inside, so extra yumminess. Okay, perfect. All right. And again, like I said, I'm going to kind of make this up as I go because I'm not going to do a full recipe of the little smokies because I have a junior crock and I just want to make these for this. I have no occasion, and if I'm going to be eating the rest of the little smokies, I don't want them to be in the brown sugar and the bacon for adding purposes. So let's see, I had 3, that's, should be 2 slices of the bacon. And who doesn't love bacon? And honestly, I figured since this is food and drink is supernatural, well, bacon makes it better. Okay, we're going to cut this into thirds. There. Grab some toothpicks. That's how we're going to keep it all in place. Okay, and then wrap your cocktail weenie in the bacon. Oh my gosh, this already just screams delish. Cutting wasn't all that even, and I should have gotten out 3 slices of bacon, because apparently I can't count, so cooking's going to be fun when you can't count. It's quite messy, just because it's bacon, but that's okay, because I will always forgive bacon. Here we are wrapping our last little smoky in the bacon, and I am going to wash my hands for the rest of this. The recipe says we're going to put brown sugar in the bottom of our crock pot, and you know what, for easy cleaning, I'm going to put some tin foil in it. So now, the recipe that I found, calls for the entire thing of the little smokies and enough bacon to wrap all the little smokies and 1 3/4 cups of brown sugar. Again, I'm only making about 1/3 of the recipe, so I think I'll put the 1/3 cup in the bottom and then 1/4 cup on top. And I will link my inspo recipe for this down below. since I'm pretty much following it, just not the full.
Yes.
I evenly distributed the brown sugar on the bottom. Now I'm going to lay these on top. There we go. And the recipe says to cover with the remaining brown sugar, so let's do that. And the full recipe I'm following says to then put it in your crock pot for 3.5 hours on high. Because I'm not doing the whole recipe, I will cook it on a high, but I'm going to keep a watchful eye on it for when they're done, because I honestly don't think it's going to take the 3.5 hours. So here we go. Now let's get cleaned up for recipe number 2. Okay, recipe number 2 is mini quiche from the episode Provenance, which is why the champagne is out, because they're at the auction house and have the mini quiche and champagne. So what sets quiche apart from frittata and egg pie, if you will, is heavy cream. So I'm going to try and make these a little bit healthier by substituting non-fat Greek yogurt for that heavy cream. I did this last week as just a trial run. My egg mug that I have in the morning, I put the non-fat Greek yogurt in and cooked it up, and it did give it a more custard-like consistency, which is what a quiche is. I am also going to be using phyllo dough for the crust. So again, I'm hoping that makes it slightly healthier in that we're not having your standard crust. It's going to be the phyllo dough, which is, thinner, so there will at least be a crust. So let's get started. We also want to get this bacon started so that we can mix the rest. Ooh, hear that bacon sizzle. Yeah! All right. Oh, I gotta tell you, with just the bacon and even the little smokies aren't really cooking. I don't see the brown sugar bubbling yet because we just put it in. It actually smells kind of good in here through my nose. So again, gonna let the bacon cook, and then we will finish up the mini quiche. Okay, bacon is done and we're ready to move on to the next part. So I'm going to cut up some pepper and onion, and I'm going to cook it in the bacon grease just to take a little edge off the crispiness and just to give it a little more of the bacon flavor. And since I'm making this up, I have no exact measurement. I'm just going to put as much as I see fit. Someone's in the kitchen with Rowena. Someone's in the kitchen with Rowena. Someone's in the kitchen with Rowena. We're going to have some yummy treats soon. And you can tell, I am not a professional chef. I don't have their great chopping skills. I don't like my finger to get as close to the blade as they do. That, and I'm just not a fan of all the cleaning that goes into it. Believe me, I love to make yummy foods. I love to eat, but it's all the cleanup that gets to me. All right, so there's a good bit of pepper. Let's get some onions. And again, I bought pre-cut, but I'm gonna cut them down even smaller. So okay, so these are chopped up. Like I said, I'm gonna cook these in the bacon grease for a little bit, just to soften them up a little bit and give them a little extra bacon flavor. I think I'm even gonna put a little cracked pepper on top of that. And like I said, just get these cooked up a little bit, just to soften them up, and just use that bacon grease a little bit. So let's get these cooked, and we'll be right back. For a check-in, ooh, look at them. Brown sugar is all kind of dissolved. I think you can see the liquid in the bottom, the bacon grease, the brown sugar. Ooh, they're looking pretty good. And it might actually, for the bacon to cook all the way, it might take maybe the full 3 hours, regardless of how many you're cooking or the size of your crock pot. But it smells so good in here right now. So we'll be back soon for another check-in and finishing up those quiche. Okay, the cocktail weenies are doing great. The pepper and onion is all cooked, and at this point, our phyllo dough has come to room temperature and thawed for 3 hours. I found the phyllo dough in the frozen food section, and again, it said to thaw it at room temperature for about 3 hours. So this should be ready to go. So we should be ready to start our mini quiche. Now, this is the smallest baking tin that I have, and actually I went out and I bought one, and it's the same size that I had. I would think you could use the smaller one to just get bite-sized quiche. These will still be smaller, and I have already pre-sprayed it with just some nonstick spray. So let's get going here. And I've never used phyllo dough before, so this will be interesting. Ooh, okay. Let's see how many sheets. I think we're gonna want to do maybe 4 sheets. There's 4 sheets, I think. Oh no, that is way more than 4 sheets. Okay, I think this is 4 now. Ooh. Oh boy, that just falls apart nicely. I'm gonna have to, I guess, find other uses. Okay, this looks like it might do about half. Let me see if I can just cut that down the middle. Now I know. I'm kind of excited. Maybe I can find other recipes. I know the box of phyllo dough had a recipe for like a flatbread on it. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. It came with 2 rolls, and as you can see, that's quite a lot of phyllo dough there. So I can't wait to come up with new and exciting recipes. Okay, so let's just about gauge here. All right, just put that. Oh, we're gonna crisscross that. We're gonna put 2 in that way, and then 2 in that way, just to give a nice little cup there. All right, so I'm gonna do this for my entire pan. Not looking too shabby. So I'll be back when I have all the little phyllo cups in the pan. Okay, all our little cups are filled with phyllo dough, and something to note, I did read on the instructions that you have to keep it like wet, and I didn't, so it is starting to get a little crinkly in spots. So let's get our quiches going. I'm gonna start with at least 4 eggs, if not 6, and see how that goes. I could do all 6. Okay, let's just whisk these together. And when I did my test run for quiche in my egg mug in the microwave, I used about 1 heaping teaspoon per egg. So I'm going to put about 6 teaspoons of the Greek yogurt in here. And again, we'll then whisk that together. And again, part of trying to eat healthier, I keep looking for good substitutions for the non-fat Greek yogurt because it works great in dips. It works great as a substitute for sour cream, and it's healthier, so it adds protein and fills you up more it's more bang for your buck. Just make a mess. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we shall whisk this together. And I've let the bacon cool as well as the onion and pepper cool so that it won't curdle anything. And whisk that up without trying to make more of a mess. Sadly, I think my camera cut out for a little bit. I don't know when the light went off, but I have added the bacon, the onion and pepper, and cheese, and I have it all whisked together. So, okay, I am going to pour this into here to pour it into the cups. Now just pour it equally into these cups. Again, the cheese, the bacon, the pepper, the onion. I really didn't measure much of anything except for the 6 eggs and the teaspoons full of the yogurt. But that's part of the joy of cooking, is it's an adventure. You get to figure stuff out for yourself, your own tastes, what works. Now, baking is more of a science where you have to be exact. that little extra out. Okay, and see, this is where I say the cleanup. I mean, yeah, and the mess. All right, so we're gonna put these in the oven for about 20 minutes, and I'll see you back here when these are done. All right, the quiche have come out of the oven, and they're looking pretty good. Now these are bigger than the quiche in the episode. Those were bite size. However, these do look pretty yummy, so I'm gonna let them cool here for a little bit while they wait for their cocktail weenie brethren. Okay, I have plated some of the mini quiche and some of the cocktail weenies. As you can see, I mean, they're not bite-sized, but they are portable. And here, look how good these look. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. I am going to let these cool down. But I've poured the champagne, and I will be back with you shortly after it's all cooled to enjoy this feast. And now for the taste test. Oops, see, they're sticking to the plate. Oh my gosh. Oh. Oh wow, that is good. Mmm. And now for a bite of quiche. Oh wow. So, thank you for joining me for this episode of Supernatural Eats. Like I said, this finishes up the food and drink for season 1. So if you're interested in more Epicurean supernatural journeys, please join me next time when I'll be delving into season 2. And if you know where those Winchesters are, you let me know. Until next time, cheers, or as Rowena would say, sluncha, and happy holidays.